Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and today we're extreme budgeting. Like that show, Extreme Couponing, we are extreme budgeting. We are doing a full face of Shop Miss A dollar makeup, all the AOA brand. Now the AOA line at Shop Miss A is the Shop Miss A line, kind of like the Ulta line or the Sephora line. It is designated specifically to the Shop Miss A website. So I bought everything to do a full face. I want to test it out. I want to know if dollar makeup can compete with mid-range and high-end makeup. So if you're excited, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, I will link everything I purchased off of the Shop Miss A website. I will pop the price on the screen for you. Everything is right around the dollar price point. You'll also find my favorite beauty boxes, and come follow me over on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let me zoom you in and let's do a full face of cheap makeup. So the only thing I've done to my face so far is my skincare, and then I did apply some NYX Marshmallow Primer. I didn't buy a primer from the AOA website, but my recommendation if you did want to pick up a primer is to get the AOA Hydrating Primer. It comes in a teal tube. It's $1. It's fantastic. The reason I didn't pick it up is it was sold out on the website, and I have 8 million primers. So I didn't want to pick up another one. So I did just go ahead and use the NYX Marshmallow Primer. So first up is the AOA brand of foundation. There were a couple different foundation options, but this one was a more medium coverage foundation, and that's what I've been really into lately, just with the warmer months. I didn't want as heavy of makeup. It does have a little squeezy top, so I'm going to dispense some in my hand. It's nice and thick, and it looks like a good shade for me. I am pretty tan right now. I actually just came from working out outside. That's why my hair is a little bit sweaty. And I've been playing pickleball a lot outside as well, so I've gotten quite a bit of color. And if you didn't know, I live in Arizona, so it's sunny here all of the time. And then I'm just going to tap that in with my beauty sponge. The color is actually perfect. So that actually looks really good. You can still see a little bit of the glow through the foundation. I can see a little bit of discoloration still. Like I said, this is more of a medium coverage foundation. I am going to do just a tiny bit more. I want to see if I'm able to build it up just a little bit more if you were looking for a little bit more full coverage. So that actually looks really nice. This foundation is really good. It's a tiny bit tacky, but we are going to go ahead and set our face, of course, with powder, but it looks really nice on the skin. Definitely gives that medium coverage, and you are able to build it up, which makes it a really good foundation in my opinion. For concealer, I grabbed the AOA Locked Creamy Concealer. I'm nervous about the concealer. That's one thing that I feel like there are really good drugstore brands out there, but for me, because I am almost 48 and I have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles under my eyes, concealer is really important to me. I like to make sure that it's not going to settle into those fine lines. So I'm curious how this is going to perform. It is not a super thick concealer. I would say it's a little bit more even on the thin side, but not in a bad way. It's not super thin. It's kind of a mix between a thicker and thinner concealer. I'm going to tap that in with my beauty sponge. I don't see it settling into my fine lines yet. However, it is definitely more of a lightweight concealer. I am going to add just a little more, kind of like we did with the foundation, just to see if I can build it up, and also if it will continue not to settle into fine lines and wrinkles by kind of layering it. So there is layering up the concealer. I'm still not getting a lot of coverage from it. I think it's because it is a little bit thinner consistency concealer. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's not settling into fine lines yet. I'll definitely give you guys an update at the end of the video, but let me go ahead and set my under eyes, set my face. Unfortunately, all of the loose setting powders and pressed powders were completely sold out on the Shop Miss A website. They only had a couple AOA and they were out of stock, so I'm going to go ahead and set my face with my e.l.f. Halo Glow powder. I really love this powder, especially for my under eyes, but it works really nice to set the entire face. I will go ahead and link the AOA powders down below for you. I have tried them in the past. Both the loose and the pressed powder from AOA are really good. So I'll link them for you. Maybe by the time this video goes out, they'll be back in stock. For bronzer, I picked up the AOA Perfect Lightweight Matte Finish Bronzer. This looks like a beautiful kind of cool toned bronzer shade. So I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy brush. And I typically apply bronzer to the places on my face that the sun hits. So I'm going to focus on my cheek. Ooh, that's nice. That's pretty. It's definitely going on a little bit more natural looking, which is not a bad thing at all, but I am able to dip back into the bronzer and build that up. The shade, perfect for me. Definitely that nice kind of cool tone bronzer. I can do both cool tone and warm toned bronzer, and I like both on my skin actually, but this is really beautiful. So there's the side bronzed, there's the side not bronzed. Always on my forehead. I really like this bronzer. This is really nice. You can see that it just melted into my skin. It's not sitting on my skin, but it's giving me that beautiful bronzed, sun-kissed look. This is really nice. And then for blush and highlight, I loved this little duo from AOA. This is in the shade Fly With Me, and it is actually a blush and a highlighter in one. The packaging is really cute. There's little butterflies on it, and the pans even have some embossing, and these shades are stunning. You can get a really affordable duo of both blush and highlight. So first I'm going to go into the blush shade. Kind of side note, Shop Miss A actually sells brushes. I have a few of them and they are really nice. I'm just not in the market for eye or face brushes right now, but if you are looking for some new brushes, they are really good quality, not even just for the price, but just in general, really good quality. Look how pretty that is. That's beautiful. And that's just one tap into the blush shade. I really like this shade. It's kind of a coral orangey pink, perfect for summer. And I picked this duo because it goes really well with the eyeshadow palette that I chose. This blush is very buildable, very pigmented, and you can go in with a light hand to have it be a little bit more natural, but I really like the color. And again, it's not sitting on my skin, it's just melting in. Now let's go into the highlight. You know I love a Scene from Space highlight. I like it if it's buildable, if it goes on a little bit more natural. So let's see what we get from this one. Ooh, okay. That's so pretty. Wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Now it's natural, but it's also really stunningly beautiful. That was one swipe into the highlight, and I don't feel like I even need to go back in. Isn't that pretty? Honestly, I'm pretty surprised at how beautiful the highlight is. I feel like sometimes with drugstore or more affordable highlighters, they're just not as sparkly, and I love just a good sparkly highlight. Wow. This little duo right here, 10 out of 10. For eyeshadow, I thought this was so absolutely beautiful. This is the Cherry Blossom palette. It is a little 9-pan eyeshadow palette. It's kind of giving me Huda Beauty vibe. I decided to go with a more neutral palette only because it's more neutral. It's more universal. Subscribers really like more neutral looks, so I thought we would test out a neutral eyeshadow palette. You know I love indie makeup, so this is going to have some tough competition. I'm going to see if it can rival that. I will say that there isn't a really deep dark shade, and you know I like to build up my inner corner with the dark shade. So the deepest matte is this one right here. That's a little disappointing. However, let's see how it all comes together. So what I'm going to do first is pick up I'm going to pick up this orangey shade in the middle and use that as my crease shade. We definitely have pigmentation. I mean, this is going on really nicely and blending out beautifully. I went ahead and tap back in. I do want to see if I can build it up a little bit more. It's really pretty. I actually really like this shade. It's kind of orangey brown when it's applied. It's a little more orange in the pan, but when it's applied to the eye, it does have a little bit of a undertone of brown, which I like because this is very much a more brown, neutral leaning palette. So far, I'm impressed with not just the pigmentation, but how easy these are to blend and build. So far, we are off to a really good start. Let's go ahead and pick up that deepest matte in the palette, which again is this little brown, this brown right here. I'm going to pick that up with a more dense, fluffy brush and pack that on the outer corner, hoping that it's going to deliver the depth that I'm looking for, or at least that I can build it up to get some depth. There's one tap in and we've got pigmentation, we've got depth. Let me see if I can tap back in and build this up to get it a little bit deeper and darker. So there's going into the shade twice. It definitely added some dimension and some depth. That's really, really pretty. These are layering beautifully on each other. I will say though that I wish it was a little bit darker, but that's just my personal preference. Not everybody likes that deep, dark outer corner. But for me and my makeup preference, I do wish it was just a little bit deeper, but it definitely still gave me the color and the depth. I want to pick up this light shade here on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to use that to just blend everything out. So there's our eye look so far, and I actually really like this even more than I thought that I would. Now, to give the shimmers the fairest shot possible, I am going to use my NYX Glitter Primer. I use this every time I apply shimmer shade, so I want to use it today with this AOA palette as well. So I'm going to just tap that on my lid. And then, as always, I like to apply shimmers with my finger and a brush just to show you if they're versatile, if you can use either application method with the shimmers. So I think what I want to do first is go into this one here. This looks like the most sparkly shimmer in the palette, this orange in the corner. Ooh, it feels really buttery soft. Look how pretty that is. And I'm going to tap that on my lid, focusing on the outer half, closer to where we put that deep brown shade. So this is really pretty. I am able to build it up to get a little bit more shimmer and opacity. I mean, look at how pretty that is. It's actually applying even better than I thought, and it's extremely buildable. So I'm able to tap back in and pick up more shimmer. It's a little bit of a wet formula, which I like. It reminds me of indie shimmers that have that more kind of tacky, wet touch, feeling to the touch. So there is the first shimmer shade that's actually stunningly beautiful. And now I want to pick up the shimmers with a brush, and I was debating between this gold shimmer in the corner or this kind of pinky shimmer. I actually think I'm going to pick up the pinky shimmer, and I'm grabbing that with a dense flat brush, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my lid. This is so pretty. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. That would be a gorgeous inner corner highlight. I'm definitely going to have to pull that to the inner corner as well. That is so, so beautiful. She's definitely sparkly and shimmery. That's so beautiful. So, so pretty. Now for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to use this other brown shade. Even though it's a shimmer, I'm going to use it on my lower lash line because I think it's deep enough that it won't be so shimmery, but will add that little bit of depth. Just buff that on my lower lash line. Yeah, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. So it's going to give you that little bit of a sparkly lower lash line. I think I'm going to go in with one of the mattes on the lower lash line as well. And I think I'm going to go back into that orange matte that we used on the crease and just buff that on the lower lash line as well. And then lastly, that same really pretty shimmer shade that's on my lid, I'm going to, of course, use that as my inner corner highlight. So there is the eyeshadow look. Of course, I'll give you my final thoughts at the end, but let's do liner and mascara. I'm a liquid liner girl, so this is the AOA Artista liquid liner. I've used this before. It's been a long time, and I remember really liking this and thinking it was incredible for the price. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my liner. Oh yeah. Look how smooth that is. It just goes right on. There's no tugging, no skipping. Wow, yeah, that is really nice. That went on just like butter, super smooth. So let me go ahead and finish my liner. It's definitely as good as I remember. This just went on so smoothly. Like I said, no skipping, no tugging, really good. There were quite a few mascara options. I decided to go ahead and get the AOA Volume. I really like a good volume mascara. I have pretty long lashes. I do use an eyelash serum every single night, so my natural lashes are pretty long. So I wanted to get a mascara that was going to give blackness and volume. So we're gonna test this out. The brush looked pretty good on the website. I'm really impressed so far with this mascara. That's one coat. It goes on really, really nicely, and it definitely adds volume. And I would say that it even adds some length. Lots of color, lots of volume, and even some length. So there's one coat of the mascara. I'm going to allow this to dry down just a little bit, and we'll go in with coat number 2. Coat number 2. So there's coat number 2. You guys, this is really, really good. I kind of want to do one more coat just to see if I can still get this volume, keep my lashes separated. Wow, impressed. Coat number 3. And there is coat number 3 with the volume mascara. I think you already know my thoughts, but we'll go into depth at the end of the video. It's time to do my brows. So I grabbed their brow styler. So there is the pencil portion. It's definitely a little bit thicker angled pencil. And then the other end, I actually like the comb style rather than a spoolie. So I have pretty thick eyebrows, actually really thick eyebrows. So I'm not really looking to necessarily draw in hair-like strokes as much as I am to kind of fill in my brows, but I do like a pencil that's versatile. I can draw the hair-like strokes and fill them in. So we are going to go ahead and start filling in. This is really nice and creamy. I mean, it's filling my brows in effortlessly. There's one brow versus the other brow. Even though this is a thicker ended brow pencil, I'm still able to really just flick and draw some of those hair-like strokes. My brow's a little bit thinner right here, and it's really able, and I'm still able to draw in the hair-like strokes and fill it in. And then using the cute little, looks like a toothbrush, like a mini toothbrush, I'm going to use that just to brush it through. Ooh, I actually really like this for my brows. This design, other brow products should do that because it makes it really easy to just set them into place, but that looks really good. And then for the lips, I actually picked up a lip liner, a liquid lip, and a lip oil because I love lip oils, lip glosses, so I wanted to be able to try all the lip products from the AOA line. The lip liner shade I chose is Soar. I picked the blush, the eyeshadow, the lip products to all kind of go with the eye look. So I'm going to go ahead and test this out. My preferred lip liner is creamy, where I'm able to just effortlessly line my lips. I hate when I have to pull and tug. This is nice and creamy. Was effortless, really, really effortless. And I'm 100% a liquid lip girl. I'm not really a bullet lip girl, so I saw that they had the non-sticky matte liquid lips. These are the velvet lips, and I have mine in the shade Lana, which again goes perfectly with this eye look, matches with the lip liner. And what I look for in a liquid lip is one that dries down but isn't Sahara desert dry. I like one that I can wear on its own or apply a gloss over the top. Ooh, I love this color. This is so beautiful. It's kind of a brick red, orangey red. It's so pretty. Right now it's very, very creamy. Very, very creamy on the lips. It is not dry at all. So I'm going to give it a minute to see if it dries down at all or if it remains creamy. So it definitely is staying more on the creamy side, which I really like. That's probably why they called it a velvet lip versus a liquid lip. So this you can absolutely wear on its own. It doesn't need any gloss. It doesn't feel dry at all. It's actually really nice and creamy. But I did grab a lip oil because I love a good lip oil. I love lip oil on liquid lips by itself. This is the I Love Dew in the shade Sugar Coat. So it's, again, from the AOA brand. She has a nice big fat juicy applicator, and I'm going to pop this right on top. Ooh, that feels so good on the lip. You can see that it added the perfect shine. I think this would be lovely on its own, and I haven't tried it. Let me swatch it. I want to see if it has any opacity. Oh yeah, it does have a little bit of a tint to it. Can you see that? So you could easily wear this on its own if you just wanted a light orangey kind of brick shiny lip. It feels really nice. It's not sticky. And again, you don't even need to layer anything on this. I really, really like this. Dang it, AOA. Let me go ahead and get fully dressed and ready for the day, and I'll be back to share my final thoughts on all of this cheap makeup. So I'm ready for the day, and I am ready to give you my final thoughts on this full face of AOA dollar cheap makeup. First, let's start with the foundation. This is fantastic. I love that it goes on a little bit more light medium coverage, but you can definitely build it up to a full medium coverage. It feels really nice on the skin. It's not tacky. It didn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, you can't beat it for the price. This is a really, really good foundation. And then the Locked concealer. This is okay. This isn't my favorite concealer. One thing it does have going for it is that it doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, looking at my under eye now, I have no settling at all. It just took a little bit of work to get as much concealer as I like under my eyes. If you like a very, very light coverage concealer, this would be perfect for you. I like a little bit more coverage, but not cakey. So I will definitely use this. I'll finish this out. I probably wouldn't repurchase. I think there's other drugstore concealers that are around this same price point, maybe a little bit more, that I like better. The bronzer. I love the bronzer. This is so natural looking on the skin, but still gives you that bronzed goddess vibe. I mean, this is really, really nice. It just blended beautifully into the skin, and this I definitely think is a must-have. Same with this little duo right here, this blush and highlight duo. I could see myself picking up a few more. They had multiple shade options. Again, I chose this one because the color story went well with the color story of the eyeshadow palette that I chose. The packaging is actually nice. This is stunning. The highlighter, I mean, the highlighter blew me away. The blush is beautiful. It's pigmented. It's opaque. I mean, another product that I think is a must-have from the line. And then moving on to the 9-pan eyeshadow palette. Now, this is beautiful. I do really like it. Looking at my eyeshadow, it still looks really nice. I will say that I feel like the darkness, the depth that I had maybe on the outer corner with this shade here maybe dissipated a little bit. Like the shadow's not gone, but it's not as dark and bold as it was before. So I'm curious how this shadow is going to wear all day. I will go ahead and put an update here on the screen for you because I would have worn it all day by the time I edit this video. But this is nice. For the price, this is nice. Is it the best quality eyeshadow in the world? No, but I will say the shimmers, I mean, the shimmers are stunning. The mattes are okay and the shimmers are fantastic. Overall though, I think it's definitely worth the money. Liquid liner, I love this. Love, love, love. I should have actually bought more of these because for the price point, this is one of the best liquid liners that I've used. It's very smooth. It doesn't tuck. It doesn't pull. It goes on effortlessly. So when I order other AOA makeup, like more of these little blush highlighter duos, I will probably pick up a good stash of these because it's fantastic. A mascara, 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10. This is lovely. Look at how great my lashes look. I mean, they look amazing, and that was 3 coats. I really could have even done 1 coat or 2 coats. This mascara is fantastic. If you love volume, if you love boldness, if you love length, highly recommend. Also, highly recommend the brow product. I mean, most of what we use today is fantastic. This brow pencil is great. I was a little bit nervous about the thicker width of the pencil, but I was still able to draw hair-like strokes, fill in my brows. Love the design of this little toothbrush on the end. That worked really well to just lay down my brows. I love this. This is another thing I will be picking up several backups of. I also really like the lip liner. I appreciate that it is a twist up. You don't have to sharpen it, which I really like that. I prefer not to have to sharpen lip liners, eyeliners. This is nice. It was nice and creamy and it went on flawlessly. Now this is amazing. It is so velvety. I love that it doesn't dry down to Sahara Desert. It's still nice and creamy. It's opaque. It's beautiful. It's not bleeding outside of the lip liner at all. And this color, I mean, this color, you guys, I love this. This is very unique to my collection, and I probably have 100 lip products. I really love this. I could see myself picking up additional shades. And same with the lip oil. This is beautiful. This I Love Dew brand. You can still see after getting ready for the day, doing my hair, getting dressed, that it is still beautiful on the lips. It is still glossy and dewy, and it feels amazing. There's no stickiness, zero stickiness between either of these lip products. Again, I could see myself buying all the different shades. So overall, based on the overall look, all the products that we use, really the only thing that wasn't my favorite was the concealer. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. But seriously, I paid about, I want to say right around the $15 price point for all of this makeup. I mean, that's incredible to get a full face for about $15 and everything as good of quality as this is. I mean, my skin looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm thoroughly impressed with the Shop Miss A AOA line. Again, I will link everything down below for you if you want to shop on the website. You do, I believe, get free shipping with a $30 or $35 purchase. I just paid for shipping and it was about $3 or $4. Definitely a reasonable amount of shipping, and I got a full face of makeup for $15. So again, everything will be linked down below along with my favorite beauty boxes, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Let me know down below, what did you think of the completed look, and are you interested in trying out Shop Miss A and the AOA line? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.